As you guys have probably noticed from this channel, I really do like things like anime, YouTube, and gaming. Surprise, right? Anybody surprised? No? Okay. But there is one game that in recent time really caught my attention in a lot of ways. It was 2020, we were waiting for the release of a game called Project A. I was playing CSGO and oh wait, the game is apparently available if you watch streams on Twitch. I triggered something on my computer doing that. I'm keeping that in. I'm keeping that in. With that being said, I was really excited for this Project A game that at this point had been revealed as Valorant. The game had been developed by Riot Games, the studio that also had developed League of Legends, the very popular MOBA that also happens to be a pretty big esport. Now me, at the time being a big esports fan, and who enjoyed CS but didn't take it super seriously, noticing that it was fairly similar to CS, I kinda thought it was appealing. So I picked the game up and was really bad at it. Like, really bad. Like, what the fuck is this? Bro! But the game is one of those games that really motivated me to play and improve. I would watch pro players streams and I really liked the game. But what made me fall in love with the game so well? Well, it actually is something that's pretty interesting. First, when I picked up the game, I looked at the game very one-dimensionally. I thought of it as a game where I could just kinda play with abilities and just run in and try and get kills. But that's not the way this game works. Compared to Counter-Strike, you don't have consistent spray patterns. They're a lot more random. And compared to Overwatch, the game isn't very fast-paced in the sense of that you can't just run in and hope that you get kills. You have to play a bit slower. Valorant mixing in the strategical side of CSGO with the ability side of Overwatch made it a very interesting game and made it so that I really wanted to watch and improve. I started watching a lot of pro games and such to try and learn the game. I was one of those people that would at the start watch pro guides, not realizing quite how bad they were, but I fairly quickly noticed contradictory points from pro guides and from, people that stream the game and are pro at the game. As well as when watching pro games, I noticed that they played the game very differently. And I think that's kind of why I love this game. Valorant is a game that's addicting because it makes you want to strive to improve at the game. That guy who one-tapped you 2 games ago, no, he's not gonna one-tap me anymore. I'm gonna one-tap him. And setting your mind to improving at the game like that, it really did feel different. I hadn't really felt like that for a game in a very long time. So I got to work. I started watching more and more pro games, and I even started coaching some of my friends from time to time. Which I think is another reason. Valorant is an interesting game. You see, I don't want to tell you about my journey through Valorant too much, because at the end of the day, this video isn't about my journey. This video is about why I think Valorant is such a wonderful and addicting and exciting game. So that's what I'm going to tell you guys about. You see, blending an ability similar to Overwatch's abilities, as well as gameplay from CSGO, or well, more similarly CS 1.6 because of the movement and the counter strafing and the fact that you can't really spray too much like you can in CSGO. So I'd argue it's more similar to 1.6. Well, at least from my understanding. On top of that, Valorant had a really interesting pro scene. In Europe, we had a lot of interesting teams, and it made it really exciting to watch. Just watching one game made you want to watch another, and it kept making me want to keep going. On top of that, having these interesting in-depth characters made it a really interesting game for people who are into lore and such to essentially follow along with. It has really nice gameplay, forcing you to constantly want to improve. You see, I didn't have a main for a very long time. I still argue I don't at the current moment because I keep switching whatever I play to whatever I feel like playing at the time. You want me to play Astra for this one game? Hell yeah, I'll do that. Oh hey, you want me to hop on a Sova for this game? Sure, I'll do it for you. Oh, you need me to fill Sky and Sage for this tournament? No worries, I got you. And having these different roles and these characters that work so differently made me really interested in learning all of them. not just one. I think amongst my friends, I'd argue I'm one of the more flexible players. Not because I am the best on all the characters, because I'm not, but rather because I am the most evenly matched between my characters. I think it's a fairly valid argument for me to lay out and say that most of my characters are about as good. I can switch between most of the characters in the game left to right without any major issues. The exclusion currently being duelists and Harbor, because I haven't played Harbor, so I mean, I can't really say anything about him, but he doesn't look very good to me, and so I will not be playing him for now. On top of that, finding a place and coaching a team also made it feel very enjoyable. Valorant has also made me get to know a lot of friends, and that's something I love about games. When I first started going to Smash tournaments, I didn't expect some of my best friends to come from that game, with people like Creed and Neto Nixon, but they do, and that's something I love, and those are friends I hope to hold dear to me for the rest of my life. And I genuinely hope the same goes for Valorant and some of the friends I've made from Valorant, like Leave, Cardi, Lagoon, and Swifter, at least for a long time. Essentially what I'm saying is, Valorant is such a great place because you get to meet a lot of interesting and nice people, especially if you really go out of your way to. There's a lot of people you'll meet that are assholes. That goes for real world too. And hell, that goes for every game. And something I've learned over my life is that focusing on the negatives isn't always it. In recent times after getting back into Valorant, I've just kind of tried to mute anyone that's being toxic or unnecessarily asshole-ish and focus on my own game, because at the end of the day, I gain nothing from listening to these people, and neither does any of my friends. If someone's being a toxic asshole, why the fuck should I listen to them? They're not being reasonable, but that doesn't mean I have to be unreasonable back, does it? I, just like anyone else, can be toxic. That's human. But I think a big part that I've learned from Valorant is, why not just try and minimize it? Valorant is a great game for a variety of reasons, and as much as I might say contradictory things at times, this is something I will always stand for. Valorant is enjoyable. There's a lot of things to like and dislike about the game. Hell, we had one of the most one-dimensional and boring metas ever with Chamber being as broken as he was, but I still returned to the game if I ever took a break from it, which I can't say about every game. Valorant is really fun, especially if you try and queue with friends instead of just trying to play with randoms. Cause yeah, if you play with random people, you're probably gonna have a less fun time. That goes for any game. So I think the main thing that kinda goes for a lot of these type of games is, instead of focusing on the negatives, let's focus on the positives.
Sadie.
You can't really take this fight, it's such slow.
Okay.
Oh, never mind, he was slow as
Nowhere to run!
Too long.
Headshot.
Nice.
Spike planted.
You have a
Last player standing.